Hello, and thank you so much for joining your small business consultant. This is Danita, and I want to welcome you to our channel. As you know, we provide small business advice, tips, and motivation to get you started in opening a new business, tips on how to maintain the business that you already operate, or give you some insight into some very lucrative new startups, small businesses, or even side hustles today. Now, today we're going to talk about how to start a consulting business. But before you start any business, it's crucial to understand what the role of a consultant is. Now, this type of business is where you come in giving expert advice to other professionals. And while it sounds simple enough, your success as a consultant would definitely depend on what expertise you have in a specific industry. But it's also important to have a natural ability to solve problems and make decisions. So there's normally two main sectors of consulting. The first one is strategy consulting. This type of consulting focuses on efforts of beating the competition and elevating a business's profit. For instance, when clients may be struggling with a specific business direction, a strategy consultant will address the question and how to do it. The second sector of consulting is management consulting. Management consulting is responsible for the process of developing or improving a business's strategies. And they often specialize in a particular industry. They could be human resources consulting, IT consulting, or healthcare consulting. Now, a consultant can be hired for a variety of reasons, that span from implementing simple changes to completely overhauling current business systems. Now, we're going to talk about the 5 main reasons that you could potentially be hired or contracted as a consultant. One of the first reasons would be to teach an expertise. Many businesses lack expertise in certain departments and may need a consultant to help drive growth. So in these situations, you'll be contracted to come in and educate staff on processes that can elevate the business. The second reason a consultant is hired is to identify problems. So in this situation, you can use your expertise to identify problems in a business model. So if you're hired in this scenario, it would be your responsibility to identify weaknesses that are bogging down the business. Now, the third reason would be to improve processes. Some businesses simply can't identify the problems, or they can identify the problem, but can't find the solution. So in a situation like this, you'd be contracted to create a plan to remedy the key points. The fourth reason a consultant may be contracted or hired is to execute new methods. Okay? While some consulting businesses advise, others actually implement. A business may ask for your counsel regarding the health of its business, but you may also follow up with the implementation of your suggested plan. A fifth reason that a consultant could potentially be contracted or hired is to oversee business development. So when an entrepreneur decides to open a business, they might ask a consultant to oversee their business development. And depending on your skill set or your specialty, you could advise on entering the market, or you could also help in providing financial oversight. Now, how to start a consulting business requires quite a few methods, and it's important to take this into consideration when you are ready to start this. So now you pinpointed your skill set and you're ready to take the steps to actually become a consultant and start your business. You want to ask yourself, what certifications would I need? Now, normally you don't need any particular certifications, to start a consulting business, but you definitely want to take a look at what the requirements are in your state in order to legally establish yourself. You also want to know or ask yourself, what would you charge for your work? You know, as a consultant, your price point will be a major factor in your ability to attract and retain clients. If your rates are too high, some clients might be turned off, but if they're too low, clients may become suspicious and actually question your legitimacy. So it's always a good idea to take a look at your competitors so you can gain an understanding of the services they offer and the rates that they charge. Ideally, you want to keep your prices within a similar range to your competitors and also find a way to stand out, make yours special. So when you're looking for that next client, they can compare what your rates are to the competition, and also they can look at what you have to offer in your package compared to the competition. Now, typically, there are three ways that you can charge for your services. You can start charging an hourly rate, and this is a flat rate that is established as a reflection of your expertise. And clients will only pay for the time that you spend on their accounts. So in this situation, it's essential to track your hours using this approach. And clients will likely have questions if the tasks take you much longer than initially promised. Another way to charge for your services is through project rate. Now, with this rate, clients are charged according to the work that's completed on a project by project basis. While this transparency is often attractive to clients, it doesn't afford you much flexibility, and there could be contingencies that arise and projects could take longer than anticipated. So you really want to think about that one. Another way to charge for your services is through a retainer. Now, this pay schedule is really ideal when you're providing an ongoing service to a client. So let's say you're managing their website or handling their bookkeeping. It means you are paid at a recurring rate for an extended period of time. So similar to a regular employee, but without employee contributions to tax, benefits, or retirement funds, is the way that a retainer would be set up. Now, I'm going to give you an extra tip. Introductory offers or add-ons with certain packages are very popular strategies for client attraction, while rewarding longevity is a key in keeping your client book robust going forward. Next, you want to ask yourself, how do I structure my services? Well, the same way you must establish fair and consistent price points for your services, it's important for you to structure your services in a way that's clear to your clients and easy for you to adhere to, no matter how tied up in a project you become. So you want to start executing the strategy when you only promise the planning or tracking a project's performance when you're only paid for its delivery. This is called scope creep. So be very specific as possible in explaining the scope of your services and the costs involved in bolstering your work with supporting add-on. It's also important to know when to say no to a job that isn't right for you as a consultant, because your reputation and record of success are very important to the health of your business. So it's always a good idea to evaluate the potential risks of every client and project, and just be honest. If you find yourself out of your depth, or if a client has unrealistic expectations, it's sometimes best to turn down the project. So now we're going to talk about registrations and licenses. So depending on your vision and the extent to which you wish to grow your practice, you can either run your consultancy under your personal name or under a fictional business name. If you're running an operation under your name, you can basically use your social security number, or you can start out as a sole proprietor. So this type of business structure It normally requires no registration with state or federal governments, but I think it's best that you do start registering as a sole proprietor because it really is an easy way to establish a business. Now, an alternative to establishing your business, you could establish a limited liability company or LLC. In this situation, your company will be taxed as a separate entity and your personal assets are not at risk. Okay? For more information on the different licenses and registrations required to start your business, visit your state or local small business office to find out what you need to do to become a legally structured business, depending on the structure that you choose. So you definitely want to get referrals to find new clients when you become a business consultant. Now, word of mouth is one of the most powerful ways to attract and retain clients. Let's say if you do one job and the customer really loves what you've done and their experiences have been positive, they'll definitely share that with others. And that is a great way to grow your customer base. Now, the opposite is also true. If someone has a negative experience, they're likely to inform others in their network, and your reputation will be tarnished, okay? But an effective way to encourage people to share positive experiences and to provide incentives to do so is to offer existing clients rewards. You know, you can reward them with compensation, free services, or a gift pack. You want them to remember you. You want to stand out. Now, networking is also a way to get new clients. You can accomplish this by attending industry events. You know, you can even host your own event. These are effective ways to forge new connections and pitch to new clients. Also, participating in online communities, speaking at relevant conferences, and sharing advice on social media can really go far in establishing your presentation, your brand, and your expertise. Also, by conducting outreach on social platforms, you can capture emails of people visiting your website or connections that you make through LinkedIn. This can really help fill your sales funnel with qualified leads. Here's another tip. You want to design a buyer's journey that would help you better understand the needs and the mindset of potential clients. By identifying your target audiences, there's various pain points and their unique customer journeys will definitely ensure that your approach to these prospects should be with empathy and also solutions that are relevant to their problems. Now, when it comes to being a consultant, just like anything else, you are running a business. You might want to ask yourself about, do you want to get into signing contracts? A contract is a legally binding agreement between you as a consultant and your clients. If you should decide to move forward with contracts, it should specify the work you've agreed to complete, as well as the amount your client has agreed to pay. Though contract requirements will vary between states, all contracts are bound by that state laws and should have a specific title, identify the parties involved, detail the purpose of the contract, define the type and scope of the services that's being provided, include the amount owed for the services. It should also establish the length of the contract, which would include the start and end date. And there should also be a provision on the termination of the contract by either party. Last but not least, make sure that the contract is agreed upon by both parties and also signed by both parties. So no matter your industry or previous experience, when you start a consulting business, it will bring unexpected challenges as you begin to work with clients and also scaling your services. So it's a good idea to arm yourself with knowledge that will help you handle any contingencies that may arise. It's also important to surround yourself with a network of supportive professionals, and it is the key to driving success and keeping yourself grounded. Keep in mind that you're opening yourself up to new opportunities, and you will enjoy ultimate flexibility in when, where, and how you choose to work. Now, there are countless benefits that come with being a self-employed consultant. The key is setting yourself up for success from the beginning. Always think about that. How can I be successful in my new endeavor? What can I bring to the table? Um, how can I help my clients? Because that's very important as well. That's the main goal. How can I help my clients solve this problem? It's also important to create a business plan. Write down your plan. Write down your specialty. Write down your target market. And you also want to create a marketing plan as well. Because consulting businesses are very competitive, a marketing plan is going to be crucial. And I would say networking really is the best method to secure consulting work. You also want to try to figure out how to stand out above the rest. Anyone with knowledge in a specific industry might try their hand at consulting, but expertise alone won't make you successful. You have to have an appetite and a drive for excellence, which allows you to stand out above others. Don't let the competition or market saturation scare you away from the profession, because there's great opportunities there. Organization is very important in being a successful consultant. So you want to keep your cash flow organized and orderly, and you also want to learn how to manage your invoices effectively so you can decrease the risk of error and improve your business cash flow. You want to constantly question your value proposition as well. What value do you add to your clients' businesses? And you want to constantly check in on the work you're doing and be sure it's unique among competing consultants in the industry. You also want to make sure you're selling results and not services. So in order to create a winning consulting business, you want to make sure that you're actually helping solve a problem, not just how much cash you're going to get out of doing the work, because each client has a unique story. And it's very important for you to invest in the entire landscape and let the client's challenges motivate you rather than being offered money to solve them. So I hope this helped you in trying to determine, one, if you want to be a business consultant, two, how to get started, and three, how to be successful. Thank you so much for joining Your Small Business Consultant. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell to be notified when new small business content is uploaded. And I hope to see you in the next one.